China formally ceased its live-fire military drills in the vicinity of Taiwan. Nevertheless, the Taiwan Affairs Office has released a white paper emphasizing peaceful reunification with the autonomous island, while reserving the ability to use force. Although violent Chinese invasions across the Taiwan Strait's median line have started to become the new normal, it appears that significant escalation in response to U.S. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan can be ruled out. Let's learn more about the China-Taiwan issue in this video. After Pelosi's visit, it's essential to reflect on why China doesn't attack Taiwan despite making frequent threats. In the Taiwan Strait, a few factors prevent things from getting going. The first is China's wish for a peaceful return of Taiwan to the mainland. According to Taiwanese polls, only 2% of Taiwanese identify as purely Chinese, down from 25% a decade earlier, as a result of demographic shifts, Beijing's assertiveness, and its repression of human rights. Beijing's elimination of legal freedoms in Hong Kong made the idea of one country, two systems a practical joke. Most Taiwanese people have negative opinions of the Chinese Communist Party. However, it's possible that Chinese authorities have convinced themselves that Taiwan's return is possible. This is because the Democratic Progressive Party, which is in power in Taiwan, and the West are portrayed in the white paper as having fooled the Taiwanese population, and the Chinese ambassador to Australia has stated that the polls are inaccurate. Officials in China lie about their system and presume that others do the same. Additionally, the Taiwan Affairs Office cannot be honest with itself about its failure to persuade the Taiwanese to support reunification because doing so would jeopardize itself. Perhaps more likely, the CCP leadership believes that subversion and coercion, rather than open war, can be used to compel Taiwan to submit. From the once dominant Kuomintang to organized crime, the CCP has invested a lot of time and resources into forging ties with various organizations in Taiwan. Chinese policymakers hope for a U.S. collapse that would deprive Taiwan of its principal ally. The risks of an invasion are incredibly high, even if Beijing rejects a peaceful reunion. Even without direct American involvement, the Chinese invasion of Taiwan is not guaranteed to be successful. Since its disastrous invasion of Vietnam in 1979, China has gone 43 years without really engaging in combat. Despite significant investments in its armed forces, China has not had the chance to test its ideology or technological advancements. Despite Chinese promises that an invasion would be quick and straightforward, it would be an amphibious attack of unparalleled size against a Taiwanese opponent who has been preparing for the situation for decades, even if it has its own morale and logistical issues. Then, there are the geopolitical dangers of an invasion, prominent among which is the potential for a full-scale conflict with the United States. One side of the Chinese military academy believes that occupying Taiwan will show greater resolve and drive the United States out of the Asia-Pacific region. There are doubts about Washington's ability to defend Taiwan in a conflict and its willingness to enter one. On the other hand, nobody in Beijing wants the world to end in nuclear catastrophe or to suffer a humiliating loss at the hands of the most powerful military in the world. Abandoning the U.S. for a while, the invasion of Taiwan would undermine China's assertions that it is a peaceful state, along with Beijing's ties with Tokyo, which has close links to Taipei. A conquered Taiwan could not initially be cut off from the outside world like Tibet or Xinjiang, where atrocities can be covered up to some extent. Taiwan is technologically advanced enough to transmit images of war or occupation that would harm China's reputation, even if China cuts off the island's internet access. Similarly, a home invasion might be followed by a downturn in the economy. A war would devastate China's economy, which depends on Taiwanese finance and supplies. Technology companies have scorched earth plans for their plants in the event of an invasion, and talent would leave wherever possible. An excellent example of this is Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. Beijing has expressed alarm over the financial pressure the West is applying to stop Russia from waging war in Ukraine. However, severe sanctions on China would have a much more significant negative impact on the world economy. The political risk of occupying Taiwan is the last and possibly most significant point. The humiliation that would follow a disastrous invasion of Taiwan is one of the rare circumstances where massive protests and popular wrath may overthrow China's robust control mechanisms. China has effectively persuaded the population to believe reunification with Taiwan is right and inevitable, and that winning a war would be simple. That increases the likelihood of failure. Global affairs are influenced by solid elements such as nationalism, arrogance, fear, and stupidity. However, for the time being, there's a meager chance of war because of the significant risk that China would invade Taiwan and the belief that the island could still be beaten with solid arms. That concludes today's video. Thank you for joining us till the end, and we'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.